Hey, I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat South America. Thank you for joining me. It's been an interesting morning. Hello, Cindy G. You are first on the bus this morning. All right, so please do me a favor if you can and like this thing. As we've talked about, we're not getting a lot of love from the algorithm. This platform likes nasty and vitriol and divisive content more than it likes this. So we are not getting much. The only love we're getting, and I mean this, the only love we're getting is from you. So if you guys can like this stream, comment. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Hi, Cindy G, Sandy Wendy, and the one and only KM. I'm glad you found me again, Cindy. I had some issues this morning. Archie's mom, good to see you. AVAC, hello, good morning. Glitches all over the place, but that's okay. We roll with the punches. How we do it. Robert Pop Scramps Springs, good to see you. I'm sure you're loving that new little child in your life. That's terrific. All right, so let me tell you what this video is going to be. It was going to be exactly what you saw in the thumbnail. Hello, Michael. Good to see you. You guys ever watch football? Quarterback. Hey, Brock. Good morning. Quarterback stands over the line. He gets over after coming out of the huddle, looks at the defense, and he sees something he doesn't like. So you know what he does? Anybody? Red AB. Good to see you. You know what the quarterback does when he stands over the line of scrimmage and sees a defense that catches him off guard, sees something that's going to throw off the play they were about to do. He calls an audible. What that means is he doesn't have to go back to the huddle. He just says, blue 42 or whatever. And like that, the team knows what it is. They change their plan. Josh Cohen, good morning. Everybody familiar with an audible? Well, I'm calling an audible this morning. Interesting thing about this AI, talked yesterday. If you knew, 5x5, by the way, if somebody can do that for me. Barbara Aldrich, good morning. I'm glad to see you. I got a lot of brushback. We're actually, thank you for the 5x5, my friend Josh. We're going to be leaving this as soon as this video is over. We're headed to the recovery center. Man, I can't wait. So, and hey, Cheryl Chambers, good morning. Oh, we're not stopping. Promise you, Josh. Here's the thing. I don't like the defense, so I'm calling it audible. I spent there were pretty close to 70 screen grabs. And boy, I'll tell you what, AVAC 4, see that? Please hit the like button. It helps. Please do. Hello there, Arwa. I got a lot of emails yesterday from people telling me I was crazy. The people that were not believers told me I was crazy. I got a lot of that. I have no problem with that. I got a lot of emails from believers who were on the attack. I'm a believer. I hope, it is what it is. You can't obviously see the content of my heart. I hope you get, I try to be consistent. And for anybody that knows me, you know that I'm a believer. So although I spent hours uploading the screen grabs, I was going to show you all the individual questions we asked ChatGPT. And then, listening to Tommy do his stream this morning really kind of got my head spinning. So I called an audible. I started thinking, as he mentioned, Gilligan's Island had a robot that was going to be their friend. 1959, to Nelson Maxwell. Good morning. I'm so happy to see you here. Two Twilight Zone episodes in 1959. One is called The Lonely. It's about a person cast to a different planet for punishment, and he was nothing, but he has a partner. It's been a theme forever in movies. I cannot do that, Hal. It's just, listen, it's infiltrated all of us. Rocket Queen, good morning. So I started thinking about this one. I started thinking about it all. I could easily sit here and show you all those screen grabs. One thing I want to make brutally clear, because there were people that watched this much of the stream yesterday and bailed before I touched on subjects that they didn't listen to, that they just kind of shredded me on. I got more hate yesterday from people that are believers than I did from people that don't believe. So it is what it is. Before I get into this whole thing, listen really clearly. I know Tommy kind of covered this, but we didn't ask Chat GPT questions because we were hoping to get answers for our own benefit. We know. We weren't looking for that. We weren't looking for confirmation. We weren't looking for oh yeah, we're right. We were looking to really ascertain how evil it really is. All right? And it was very interesting. But because of everything going on, I'm calling it audible. The hours and I mean it took, I'm not good at technology. I'm really not. It took a long time for me to upload all those videos so I can show you all of them. I'm sorry, but you're not going to see them because I don't think it's going to help. So what I want to show you, I'm going to read you a couple things because here's the thing: the people that were believers that chose to attack me, and they really did. Bad language, capital letters, like they're yelling at you, the whole 9 yards. It's real. Sorry for those that were offended, but I stand by what we've done. Hello, Jane. Good morning. Everybody, if you could, like this thing. One thing that I will tell you is, and you don't need, AI certainly let us know that we're being suppressed. But I think everybody here knows that this platform and every other platform, they push a negative agenda. They want it because negative sells. Look at a newspaper. You're never going to see happy, fluffy, wonderful, feel-good stories on the front page. You see the salacious stuff. On the back page, you'll see some nice, happy stuff. But it doesn't work that way because ugly, nasty, vitriol, hatred, that sells. Back in the day, it was sells copies. Now it's clicks and views. And that's the bottom line. So everybody said, get away from AI, get away from AI. Like somehow I'm in league with the evil one. Trust and believe I'm not. But I just want to read you a quick list of ways that AI is being used on me and all of you that you just may not think of. I'm doing this to illustrate how difficult it is now, right this minute, and how more difficult it's going to be moving forward to really escape AI. Are you guys listening? All right, number one, smartphones and devices. Autocorrect, predictive text. Isn't that weird? Voice assistants like Siri, Google Assistant, Alexa, thinks I'm talking to it, so it's lighting up. Go to sleep. I said go to sleep, please. Facial recognition, it's everywhere. Photo enhancements, auto filters, all AI. Online experience. Once you're online, all right? And if you have comments, capital C's, questions, capital Q's, it'll catch my attention, people. Jason Ledford, good to see you. Lisa White, good morning. Smartphones, online experiences. Every search engines. Google uses AI to predict and rank results based on user behavior. So when people say, I Googled this, and you shouldn't be talking about that. Oh, you now. Spam filters. Content recommendations like YouTube, Netflix, TikTok, Spotify. They use AI to figure out what's going to keep you hooked and keep you on the platform. I'm not lying. Chatbots and customer service. I worked for a dating system for years and years. I had before I quit, probably 5 years before I quit, they called me and they said, why don't you come to Colorado? Josh, be safe, dude. Pray without ceasing and lean on God's promises. Amen. And Jesus is king. That's worthy of putting on the screen. Indeed, he is. I hope you have a great day. Be safe in it. Years before I quit my job at the dating service, they said, we want you to come to Colorado. I said, what's up? They said, we're going to we want you to sit in a room and we want you to just pitch. We're going to give you objections. We want you to give us all the rebuttals you use. It's going to take a week, like 8 hours a day. And I was like, what's the purpose of this? Because I was already writing the script for people at the company. And they said, well, what's going on is we're going to have we're creating a system where it's going to be automatic. When people call in, they won't have to worry about a person on the phone. It'll be plugged in all the answers. You guys understand you've talked to AI on the phone for a long, long time, way before you thought you did and you thought it was a real person. They're getting much better. If you sneeze, they'll say, God bless you. They're really getting good with the AI on phones. But I said, you're doing what now? They wanted me to talk for 8 hours a day for a week. So that I said, so basically you're looking to replace me. I said, I don't think I want to do that. And they told me how much they wanted to pay me, which was a lot of money back then for a week's worth. I said, I don't think I want to do that. And I didn't. This was a long time ago, people. Shopping and retail. You guys shop? All right. Product recommendations, Amazon. They use AI to show items based on your browsing and shopping history. Dynamic pricing. It's a thing. Prices change based on demand, time, and use behavior. Inventory management, all AI run. Transportation, navigation apps. I have a phobia about being lost. Thank God I don't have to deal with it anymore because we have navigation apps. Even as a kid, it was terrifying. If I got lost, we were lost on like a family trip. They were like, sleeping. Don't even say the word lost. I'd wake up panicked. Not even fooling. I had a problem with being lost, which is so funny because I'm found. I'm not lost at all. But anyway, ride sharing apps like Uber, what's the other one? Lyft. All use AI for pricing, match riding, user to drivers, routing. Driver systems. A lot of cars use you all know that self-driving cars. They're out there. This is a real thing. Connor, good morning. Good to see you. Banking, finance, fraud detection. AI spots seriously suspicious activity in real time. Credit scoring. Algorithms assess worthiness beyond just the traditional scores in real time. Personal finance apps, tools like Mint, Clio, they're AI and they use AI to track spending habits. Healthcare, as diagnostic tools, AI analyzes X-rays, MRIs, patient symptoms to assist in diagnosis. Not making any of this up. Virtual health assistants, bots, help schedule appointments to answer questions for people. Unbelievable. Drug development, AI speeds up the process of discovering and testing new drugs. Ads and marketing. I'm not going to keep going, just a few more. Targeted ads. AI tracks behavior to show highly personalized ads. You ever notice that? You start thinking about something or you talk about something and every single ad is about what they're going to do it. They know what you're doing. They know what you want to see before you know it. I'm telling you, they know your habits better than you do. Email campaign optimization. AI chooses the best times, the best subject lines, layout. AI used to make my shorts. No more. That's it. I'm done with it. Smartphones, thermostats, devices that learn your habits for heat and figures out. Security cameras. AI detects motion, recognizes faces, and flags unusual activity. Entertaining and gaming. Forget about it. Game opponents. AI controls NPCs and adapts to players' skill levels on the fly. They do it just to keep you coming back. Music creation. For years, we've been listening to AI. They may not be singing or playing the instruments, but they create the songs, and then bands buy it and turn it into an actual song. But they ain't writing it. Now, it's not across the board with everything, but it is everywhere. And if you think I'm lying, that's cool. I'm not. Behind the scenes stuff where you don't think is going on. How about hiring algorithms? Companies actually use AI to filter out resumes and to schedule their interviews. Legal document reviews. AI speeds up reading and analyzing case files. Forever. If they're going to have a giant bill, it needs to be signed at a certain time. It's like 15,000 pages. They drop them 2 hours before it has to go in front of Congress. What are you going to do? You can't read 15,000 pages in 2 hours. Even if you give 2 pages to, AI can do it like that. Energy grid management. AI predicts demands and helps balance electricity distribution, preventing brownouts. It used to be so much more common than it is now. Translation, transcription, tools like Google Translate and Translate use neural networks to improve accuracy. Let me tell you something. Before I wrote a book, I'm going to rewrite the ending because the ending's changed. However, we were going to do an editor's cut in the author's voice where I actually read, audiobook. We were going to do that. Hi, Todd. Let's see here. Todd says, I use AI at work to create ads and I post them on Facebook. My company uses AI to respond to customer reviews on Google. Anyway, we were thinking about like doing the author's voice. I gotta tell you something. I told David Foy was helping me with this. Wonderful guy. I love him like a true brother. But give me just a second. I'll get to that chimp grip at the end of this. He said, well, we need to do an audio version where you read the book. I'm like, dude, I cried writing half of it, like for real. I couldn't read it. I couldn't get through it. If I was in the studio, it would take 6 months for me to get to the point where I could read that so I could release it. And he said, oh no, let me show you what I made. Made an AI program of me. And I mean, it's me. You can hear my voice. Now, and here's the weirdest thing. The first time I heard it, I'm like, it's choppy. The pauses aren't me. And he goes, no, we're working on it. It was kind of training itself. And the final version, it was me. He went further. He had me sign something for one use only. He goes, I want to make an AI version of you. Not voice, but bad enough that is one of me. He made it, and he sent me a clip of me talking about stuff that I never said. I'm not fooling you in the slightest. If you looked at it, if you're somebody who has if you caught me once or twice and saw a few videos and this was put in front of you, you'd buy it. It would sell you easily. If you sit in front of me and you talk with me or you video chat with me every day, you go, it's not him. That's not Johnny. Oh my God, he's not going to make any more of those. But, and everybody's heard it. You hear the tone. You ever see this camera, 1600, and you can tell by the way they talk. They don't say certain words right. It's like $20 US, and the way they pronounce things, they pronounce certain words, you can just tell something is off. We watch a guy, Tommy addressed it in his stream, but we watch a YouTube channel that talks true crime a lot. And the guy that does the narrating, first time we saw it, we're like, that look weird to you, Tommy? And we were looking at him like, you think that's AI? And we learned over time, and Tommy said it, he's got a little spot, a little white thing on his sweater. But it doesn't matter what he's wearing, that little white thing is always there. And his eyes never leave the camera in a really weird way. That's where we're headed. The biggest problem is like COVID didn't help. The pandemic didn't help because so many people that already were suffering from isolation got stuck. You know what I mean? And there are so many people starved for connection. Can I share with you guys something? I'm starved for it. I need this. And even though I can't see you, what we're doing is we're connected. But my point about reading you all those different ways, for all those people that said I'm an evil person and I should get away from AI, check yourself. Because if you look at how it is, and certainly we can do a lot to try to reduce how much AI is affecting us. Someone I love so dearly said to me, God's like a signal, and all the noise and all the stuff like that just gets in the way of that signal. We live in a me world. We really do. What can I get? We're looking for satisfaction, and boy, we want it instantly. Everything is marketed to get you that satisfaction and I've talked about it earlier, but billboards and everything you see, it's all noise. It's all meant to distract. It's just the truth. So Tommy and I moved here. We're in South America, and boy, the signal's coming in really clearly. Now, does that mean there's no AI here? Of course there is, but you got to look for it. Now, when we go to the store, we're certainly buying things that had effect that AI was involved with, the pricing and, probably where stuff even sits on shelves. But there's a whole lot of AI where I am than when I lived back in the United States. And this person was right. It's just like anything else. Like, believe it or not, sitting right here, I can test the speed on this internet. If Tommy sits right here, it affects the signal. Radio, it does. If he gets up and moves, the signal goes up a little bit. Because his noise, his body is getting in the way of the signal. How much crap is getting in the way of your signal? We all have a signal. There's a signal out there, and the funny thing is that signal is the same for everybody, but there's all kinds of noise that we pull into our life that distract that. I was really excited to see the stars here because we have a different set of stars, being in the northern hemisphere in the United States, being on the equator, 60 miles north. It's the belt line of the world. Because of the noise pollution, the light pollution, they call it, that's still noise. That's getting in the way of our view of the stars. I haven't seen a star since I've been here. It's a bummer too because the stars are all different. So how do you eliminate the noise? The first thing is this. I mean, if you knew, like I've got, let me see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10. I've uploaded more than a little over 60 different screen grabs from the AI conversation. And it's not that I'm trying to get away from more emails like I got last night and that I woke up to this morning. That's not really it. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Again, to reiterate everything, Tommy and I have been believers for a long time. Our faith is very strong right now, sort of on fire for it. We did not, I'm going to pause for a second for effect. Please listen up for a minute. Tommy and I weren't confused. Our faith wasn't a little shaky. We didn't go to ChatGPT because we don't have a Ouija board or we didn't have that magic 8-ball. We weren't a little iffy and we were just hoping we'd get a little confirmation so we know, AI set me straight. He and I are strong believers. I mean it. We're strong in our faith. We spend a lot of time in prayer. We weren't going to ChatGPT for confirmation or for answers. You know what we were going there for? To learn how bad the enemy really is. You got to inspect what you expect. And we wanted, there's a lot, AI is, we want to inspect what's happening because I'm telling you something, it's everywhere. But we bailed. I bailed on the idea of using those. It's not going to help anybody. It isn't. Now, if you're somebody who knows me and you have my, if you're somebody who knows me personally and you want me to send you this stuff, I probably wouldn't mind doing that, but I'm not. Hi, Caroline. So good to see you this morning. I'm not going to throw all those screen grabs up. You got the gist of what I was saying. There are people in the chat right now who have seen it. Brock, Krista and Linda. They've seen it. I've sent it to them. They've seen every single comment that I'm telling you about. Hi, Natalie Strasser. They know what I'm talking about, but so they know that whatever, I'm not manufacturing anything to make it sound incredible. And there's some spooky stuff going on there, but if you don't think there's evil afoot, I beg to differ. There is. It's like I said yesterday during several streams, it comes up with drugs. It comes up with the state of the country. You'll hear people ask, are we past the point of no return? Can we save the world? And I think if you're trying to save the world, we're past the point of no return. It can't be saved. Can you save yourself? Same thing with sobriety. Can we get the world sober? Good luck with that. Can you get sober though? I got sober. All right, I got sober. My kids are sober. So while we can't win the war, we can win a lot of little battles. While you can't get the world sober, you can get sober. You can't save the world, you can save yourself. So what I'm saying is if everybody just speaking on sobriety, everybody said, I'm going to be sober and this is what I'm going to do to get there. If everybody did that, holy crap, we can get the world sober. But you can't go at it with the idea that you're going to get the world sober. It just doesn't work that way. The animal's too big. It's the same thing with everything. You can't fix the world, but you can fix yourself. So what I would urge you to do is fix yourself. And you know what the great thing about journaling? It's the furthest thing from AI there is. It's almost the opposite of AI. It's you and your thoughts. Journal. It's an important thing. Read what you've journaled about. But the warning that I want to give everybody, you got to know the enemy, know what the enemy is to protect yourself. Unfortunately, it's everywhere. We're dripping in it. Dripping in it. In the United States, you can't swing a chain without hitting something that's affected with AI. Here, it's, we're very fortunate. I wish everybody in the world could at some point just live somewhere where there's no noise to block the signal. It would change your life. Mean it. Bela Lugosi, the film 2001. You betcha. I referenced that right. I think I did yesterday. I cannot do that. Space Odyssey pictures men wordlessly eating a meal while staring at thin, flat, rectangular screens. Nice prediction there. It's like I said. Hey, Todd, I hope you have a great day, dude. For real. Somebody just messaged Tommy and I within the last week and said they were recovering from surgery that a computer did. I don't mean they sat down and said, okay, this is the thing that he probably needs. I mean, a computer went, cut, did all the things, sewed them up. Computer did it. Not making that up, unless they're making it up. I don't believe them. I believe them. I don't think they were being deceptive. Bella, there's been a lot of movies where AI does that. You know what I mean? Can you save the world? No. Can you save your home? You betcha. You got it, but it's an active, it ain't going to happen by accident. It's going to take an active role. You've got to do something. It's not going to happen on its own. And that's just the truth. Lisa asks, is it possible for Spanx to help you block it? Or is it even possible? The AI thing is this. I think you're talking about the AI with, I was using AI with shorts. And some of the shorts were absolutely staggering. They were so good. But some of the shorts, they're not perfect. And what would happen is we'd throw up 15 shorts away. When the thumbnails look at, I'm a busy person. There's no excuse. I should have made time for it. I didn't look at every one of those AIs. So if AI takes you a short clip of you and it doesn't tell you what led up to it, it can be an awful looking short. And that's what was happening. And we weren't inspecting what we expected, right? Now, if we look from Jump Street, we said, holy crap, that short makes me sound like a loser. We would have pulled the cord earlier and cut that off. We did, and that's on me. You know what I mean? But we're not, I'm making shorts. And it's not going to have anything to do with it. Jason, it's all tied together. It is watching, listening, and learning. True privacy is only attained with true connection, disconnection from tech. Fact. But even then, it's a difficult thing to do. True disconnection. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. Don't turn me off, Hal, right? It's a challenge because it is everywhere. You know what I mean? It's just, and the other thing is this. The other day I did a stream where I said, what do you got? Where do you put your phone when you charge it? Do you leave it in your kitchen? Do you turn it off when you charge it? You know when I turn my phone off? When there's a glitch. I hit the BRS, the big red switch. I'm space chatting with somebody. I'm like, I'm having a glitch. Turn your phone off. I'll turn mine off, reboot, we'll call you back. We turn the phone all the way off, we turn it back on, and all of a sudden the signal is much clearer. But that's the only time I turn my phone off. And where is it when it's charging? Right by my head, in bed. How many of you have your phones in bed by your head and it's listening always? Always, always, always. So, Tricky, good to see you. This is a good one. AI won't be foraging for peppers and making sauce out of them, at least. Not yet. You're exactly right. Very true. Good morning, Bella. Love you guys for saying hello and being kind to each other. It's a beautiful thing that happens here. But a couple things that did happen during that little chat with AI. Do you think they push negative content? I've said to you guys before, if I start dropping F-bombs and started being really crass, and if I did that, do you know what would happen? I'd lose a lot of people that have been with me for years. But you know what would happen? I'd get tons of views, and I could let me tell you something. With a very subtle, it wouldn't be subtle, it'd be a huge, but with a very simple adjustment, I could quadruple my income. But that's serving the almighty dollar, and I don't serve the almighty dollar. So I won't stray from the content I'm creating because it's important. So I believe God will provide, right? But my point is, if the reason I would make quadruple the income is because YouTube pushes that. They push the salacious. They push the vitriol and the hatred. It's what they do. It's what they do. And the flip side of that coin is they suppress stuff like this. They don't want positivity. They don't. I'm telling you, they don't. They don't want a good message. So my point of telling you this is we're getting no love from YouTube's algorithm. None at all. Do you know where the love we get comes from? comes from my Savior, but it comes from you guys. Watch these videos, leave comments, share these videos around, because the only time these videos are viewed are right now. Because when this is over, I'm going to stop, and I might get the view count just drops because they have no interest in pushing this, because I'm counter to their agenda. And straight up, we're being suppressed. So we do need your help. Jane says there's an icon in my email app that if I bump it, throws me into AI and Word. Yeah, and want to write. They do. And same thing, like any Google search term, it was powered by AI. It's just the truth. And it's almost, is it impossible to get away from it? There's no such thing as impossible. Everything is possible. But boy, it takes more than just a concentrated effort. You've got to be willing to sacrifice things you become comfortable with. Let me tell you something. I think this has dumbed us down. When I was a kid, when I was in high school, I knew 150 phone numbers. I knew how to get to everybody's house, all my buddies' homes. I knew how to get there. Today, I don't know my own phone number. I don't know Tommy's phone number. It's dumbed us down. When David Foy and I was living in Fort Mill, we would drive to our office. We drove there every day. If you close your eyes and put the car in drive, it'd probably find its way there. We drove there so much. But you know what we did every day before we left? Plugged in the navigation app. And I would say to him, dude, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? And he said, because if there's traffic, it'll divert us to a different. It's so ingrained with what we do. It's insane. The AI Olympics. No, you know what's really funny? There are things where, it's crazy. I mean, we sort of joke about it, but there are things that, honestly, back in 1984, the year this old man graduated high school, if I sat down and I knew what this was going to be like, and you told anybody what 2025 was going to be like, do you think anybody would have believed you? Or would they have said you're crazy? I'm telling you, go back 5 years ago and tell them what's happening. My dad died 4 years ago. If you were around today, he'd be like, the world's changed so much, so fast. Can you fix the world? You can't. Can you fix yourself? We need to. Fowler, so glad you and Tommy aren't going to use AI for shorts or editing anymore. I value yours and Tommy's opinion much more than a computer. Knowing that you approve the content is wicked important. Well, it's not even matter. Thank you, Jeremy. It's not even a matter of approving the content. I'm not allowing anybody else to affect the content. Certainly, I affect the direction it goes based on how you guys are, and I listen to you. And if there's something going well, I kind of do more of that. If something's not working, I cut that off. I'm glad that I'm not using AI for that anymore. Jason Lepper says, I just searched for a phone number I had when I was a kid and landline. It actually pulled up me, my mom, and two people that had that number after my household. That was the last time we had it was 30 years ago. My phone, listen, let me tell you how old we are, Tommy and I. My first phone number had 4 digits. It was 3681. That was it. 4 digits. And I remember when they switched to, they added the prefix for the area. And I remember my mom griping that she had to dial 3 extra numbers. You know what's interesting? I don't know if anybody, I would say that most of the people in this chat, a lot of them would check the same box I check if we were filling out a survey. 50 to 60, 60 to 70. I bet there was a lot of people that would check, either mine or maybe even a few years older. Obviously, there are younger people here for sure. But you know what? My generation is the last generation that knows what it's like, that remembers what it's like to not have any of this crap in our lives. We would leave. There was no cell phones. We'd leave the house and just leave the house. No phone. We'd panic. The idea now, put a 5 in the chat if you've ever left your home and realized you didn't have your phone. And you're like, holy mackerel. You got to stop what you're doing and go back and get it. Anybody have that experience? You can't live without it, right? Boy, does that suck. That's the problem. Tommy and I we've had businesses together for a lot of years. There's a few 5s. For a lot of years, Tommy and I have had business together. I can't remember the name of the phone. It was a flip phone years ago. We were at lunch. We left lunch. We were doing something. And I said, dude, where's your phone? He goes, oh, man, I lost it. I said, that sucks. He goes, let's go buy a new one. We went to the store and bought a new one. That's about what the level of angst he was feeling. It was, oh, let's go buy a new one. How do you feel if you lose your phone today? Huh? How terrifying is it to lose your phone today? Because it's identity theft in a New York minute. Anything you ever need to steal somebody's identity, right here. So, my generation is the last generation that really knows what it was like. I remember, you get home and they say, where have you been? I've dialed your number 60 times. I'm like, well, I was out. Sorry. And they're like, okay, and you moved on. Then I remember vividly when the answering machine was invented. It was incredible. We had an answering machine. I felt like I was like a movie star or something. And the first thing you would do when you got home, check your messages. And if this thing blinked, nice. And you change the incoming message sometime, and who had a really funny message you leave for the incoming. And that was a big deal. It was a big deal. I remember what life was like before computers. It was a simpler time. We can't get back. There's no getting that genie back in the bottle, people. It's just impossible. So you can't fix the world, and you can't get the world sober, and you can't put a smile on the world's face, but you can put a smile on yours. That's an inside job. Happiness is an inside job. If you want to be happy, be happy. You don't try. You got to do it. Is it hard? Is it an easy thing to do? No. Let me tell you what happened. An hour before I got on here, I get a message. We have some tile in my room that maybe it's earthquakes. A couple tiles broke. So we have somebody come over to fix it. They spent an entire day beginning the job on Tuesday. And I mean, sound like a jackhammer in my room. It is what it is. They have to go find more tiles that match this. So he says it may take a while. So yesterday they didn't come in and fix it. So this morning, as Tommy's doing his stream, I get a text saying, yeah, we're going to be there at 9:00. Well, that sucks because it's going to take them all day to do this. And at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be with a bunch of gentlemen trying to get sober. So for about a half hour, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Of all days, I'd rather miss a few, I don't want to even talk. You don't know what I'd rather miss than I can't miss helping these guys. That's why I am here. So fortunately, that was fixed. But for a little bit of time, I was panicking about it. Guys, issues are going to pop up. You got to be ready to call an audible. We have a certain way we think the day is going to go. But when this stream started, man, if you look at the thumbnail, the last time, I'm going to show you the last of the screen grabs of what the AI conversation. I'm not showing it anymore. You guys get the gist. Somebody watched Mike Chiliesimo. Good to see you. Boy, if there's somebody in the chat I haven't said hello to, please forgive me. Somebody yesterday watched this much of my stream, and boy, sent me under the guise of love, they sent me a message, a lot of caps, the F word, and said in love. You know what I mean? So I'm calling an audible. I didn't want to hear that anymore. You guys get the gist of it. I don't pray to Chat GPT. I don't consult a Ouija board. I don't consult the Magic 8 Ball or any of that nonsense. Miss Cleo, remember that? I go straight to the source. So you guys get the gist of it. AI is everywhere. You can't miss it. It is everywhere. I'm not fooling. Mike says, Johnny, I'll continue to pray for you and Tommy. Y'all keep doing God's work. Don't let anyone stop or bring you all down. May the Lord continue to work through you both. Thank you so much, Michael. Yesterday, I really pushed all my chips into the middle. I don't care what people say. Listen, I would way rather be mocked, ridiculed, and attacked for being a believer in Jesus than to hide it, hide that, and be free of it. Because one day I'm going to be sitting before him going, well, So all of my chips, every chip I got, I pushed into the middle. If it tanks the channel, guess what? The few that do watch are worth it. And it may pull some people in that don't know me, that may hear a message that they go, boy, I needed to hear this today. But I have faith. You know what faith stands for? Really cool acronym. I'll tell you in just a minute. Chimp Grip, I have a couple questions. Just how hot is it? Chocolate Previtali. Wicked hot. hot, next to the warthog. It's the hottest pepper I've ever eaten. It's way hotter than a Reaper or 7-pot Primo. It's a chocolate burn, and they have a very strange burn. It's a different burn than a red pot or a yellow or orange pot. It's ferociously hot. Would it make a good salsa and/or wing sauce? If you have a high tolerance, heck yeah. If you have friends coming over, you might want to start with something a little less because it is stupid hot. For real, it's very, 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 very hot. Unpredictable Tony, stand on what you believe. Amen. I'm not hiding it under a bushel. You know what I'm talking about. Lisa asked, if it's possible to block AI, or at least in some areas. I do not know.
You can not talk to it personally.
Yeah, you can certainly not talk to it personally. You can avoid where it's at. You know what I mean? You know where it's heavy. If you avoid those, unfortunately, AI is platforms and media, they own it. So you just got to know where they are and do what you can to avoid it that way. Arva says we all crave connection. AI can never fill in that warmth. You're right, but if you watched yesterday's show, my first interaction with AI, as far as going beyond just saying, hey, did I spell this word right? Or, give me all the states that start with the letter M, that kind of junk, was when I was writing the book that Tommy and I are getting, and we will sell it again. I promise you, we're going to get to the point where we do release it. You guys are going to get to read it if you choose to. But I was writing about some very gnarly, ugly times in my life and Tommy's life, and it just wore me down. And one night, I started asking AI questions about some things I was going through, and lo and behold, it just became a therapist for me. And I mean, I felt like it brought me some comfort because it helped me sort some things out. It made me look at some things from angles I haven't looked at. That's terrifying. It really is. I would rather go through the hassle. And I said this yesterday. The problem, it was an instant connection. I've been in therapy before. And hi, Heidi. Thank you so much for being here. It was difficult a little bit to find a therapist that connected with me. And that's scary. So if you're somebody who wants therapy, I believe in it. It's like a gift you give to yourself. Take the time to find a therapist that connects with you. Don't look to AI. Please don't. AVAC, do they have AI doctors you talk to? I thought I heard. I'm sure, certainly, absolutely. They have AI. Well, to what level? I'm not sure, but you betcha. The day is coming where there's going to be AI jurors, people on a jury. Can't lie. They can't. You don't have to worry about that AI taking notes, writing a book, or talking to friends afterwards, or going online looking at stories before they come back to continue deliberating. It'll be a fair trial with fair results. That's going to happen. It may be happening already. I don't even know. Caroline, Johnny, I really want you to go We Walk About again. Those videos are great. No robots there, just a real man going on a real walk. I will, Caroline, I promise you. Thank you for watching them. I appreciate that. I will, though. Connor, my pastor and I were talking about this with something else. Starts with you, then moves to those you love, then out to the world. We can create a ripple, but it starts within ourselves. Exactly, Connor. You can't fix the world, but you can fix yourself. I can't fix the world, but I can fix myself. Kristen says, in human-to-human therapy, you do have to build a connection. Absolutely. And the funny thing, the AI connection just happened instantaneously. It's terrifying. It's not cool at all. Here we go. Connor, let's all try to go phoneless more often. Start small. Morning routine without it. 30 to 45 minutes. I think we can do it. It's an important thing to know where your enemy is. You know what I mean? And if you're not a believer, please take a look at it. I'm not going to try to shove anything down anybody's throat, but the grains of sand in the hourglass are leaving, and they don't get to turn it over when it's empty. I remember you never had to put your area code, just dial the number. Absolutely. It's crazy. KM, I've thought about getting a landline just as a backup if someone needs me in an emergency. You're not alone. I'm 43, says Archie's mom, and I remember the days when you arranged a time and a place to meet up and you had to knock at a friend's door if you wanted them. Amen. Sad, but those days are gone and they ain't coming back. If they do, it's going to no. You ever hear the first one? The Third World War is going to be fought with, or after the third, it's going to be fought with rocks and sticks because there'll be nothing left. Then they'll get back to, a life without AI. I don't know, but I don't think that's coming, though. I think the war might be coming, but I wouldn't want to think of losing my phone. Chances are I've kept my old phone, but also getting it to work is another matter entirely. Yeah, and they work you. Every time you've seen, hey, there's a new update for your phone, you want to do it? You're like, oh, great, a new update. All that update does is go like this. Your phone is like blistering fast, and it goes, built-in obsolescence. They want you to buy more. And if you won't buy more, they'll do something to your phone, so they force you to buy more. True story. Lisa, personally, I would be happy going back to the Pony Express. Amen, sweetheart. Me too. There's something about that. I agree with you. I've only been using a smartphone and tech for 3 years-ish. I always had a basic phone in my haze days. You know, it's a funny thing. We run at what's going to kill us. We're so excited about technology when it's going to ultimately be our demise. It's crazy how we run towards it. Is it not? Robert, we all appreciate you. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that a lot. Look at that. I miss my Nokia brick phone. I had one of those. Snakes was lit. I remember that. You know, it's funny. Cars, phones, watches, they've all done the same thing. They were regular, then they got big. Hey, the bigger's better. Bigger's better. We want the biggest of all. And small's better. Small's better. Small's better. Phone, I mean, think about it. Phones, everything has gone through that stage. Life is so strange. I'm not going to be on too much longer, folks. We're getting ready to head over to the recovery center. I used to joke that I was consulting the Oracle when I Googled something. It seems less funny now. Well, times will change the how you feel about punchlines. It has forever. If you ever, about to say Googled it, I saw a list of movies that couldn't be made today. Some of the greatest movies of all time. Casablanca couldn't be made today. Forrest Gump couldn't be made today. There's a lot of movies that couldn't be made today because we've gotten awfully sensitive. I remember when Google was a basic search engine and Yahoo was a rival. Between the two, they were basic but handy. Yeah, now it's a fight for control over you and what you think. And it's all about selling you stuff. It's all, you know what it's about really? The more noise they can put into your life, the less you hear that signal. So let's give them all the noise. They won't even know there's a signal being blocked out. Just keep giving them more noise. Tommy and I moved to a place where there was none. No noise. I'm not saying there's no noise, but relatively speaking to where I used to live, there's no noise. And boy, what it did to that signal, people. Holy moly. For every 5 people that leave, one person may come and hear a message they need to hear. That's how I feel like it. Honestly, Connor. Tommy and I, we have a contest. True story. We want the best people. The superpower I have isn't being able to talk when my mouth is on fire. Tommy's superpower, it's the same as mine. Somehow, the best people end up here. And I just have to believe that that's going to continue happening. But do me a favor, share these videos. Please, if you're here and you haven't liked this stream yet, like it. It makes a difference. I'm not asking you for money. I won't. I'm asking you to like the stream and share this with others because the algorithm is never going to say, hey, let's give those stogas a break. Get the real positive message. I mean, they talk about God. Let's push those out. People want to hear that. Said nobody. AI is never going to do that. Google's never going to do that. YouTube's never going to do that. They don't like our message. The channel has the biggest heart. Thank you all. Thank you, Bella. That's awfully sweet of you. Chase the Heat, Love Boat, all of you beautiful people in the chat has been the best therapy I ever had. I appreciate you all. We love you and appreciate you saying that. The fight is real, people. It's not about, you know what? The biggest fight we had, Tommy and I, the biggest fight we had, I wouldn't say the biggest, who we were fighting when we were in the United States of America were human beings. And since we got here, it doesn't feel like human beings anymore. How are you, Cindy Tucker? I don't have a phone. It has an app with a bite taken out of it. That's a fact. I hope you're good today, Cindy. You know, that stream I did the other day, I wasn't able. What happens? It's a funny thing, Cindy. When you're doing a stream, you don't have to see the comment. You can't see them all. And it's a good thing because after that video was over, I went back, not to hear myself, but to see the comments. There's some very interesting things. If you have an email address, I'd like you to email me if you could, because I have some things I'd like to talk to you about. And my email is chasetheheat@gmail.com. But I do feel led to speak with you. So if you'll do that, I appreciate it. Yeah, Caroline, I really believe that we're going to have a day, and that'll be an easy thing to sell because, hey, they can't be biased in any way, shape, or form. So I think that's something that probably will happen. You know, Connor says AI jury is really terrifying, though. Yeah, total dystopian. I agree with that. It's a frightening thing. But you know what? Have faith. The battle's already won. You guys know that, right? We already won. It's just a matter of seeing it through. But don't, stay strong. Don't waver in that. My mom used to have a phone which had a spiral on it, which meant the numbers were outside the spiral. You had to spin the dial to get around each number. Yeah, I know you might. Yeah. I saw a funny video where a man had a rotary phone called Rotary, and they had it covered with a box, and they gave their two kids, a brother and his friend, a phone number to dial, and they said, "You have 10 minutes to do this. Are you ready for the challenge?" They took it off and they looked at it. Google it. Don't Google it. You see what I'm saying? It's there somewhere on YouTube. They couldn't figure out. Two adult, they were on the verge of being adults, couldn't figure out how to dial a rotary phone number. It's crazy. ABAC, Johnny, you're amazing for helping them people out. God bless you, the Recovery Center. You know what? I'm not amazing at all, but thank you for saying that. I'm trying to help. That's all there is to it. Look at this. Robert says, Kristen, I don't know you, but I love you for real. She's that kind of woman. She's amazing. I hope everybody has a great day. What strange times we live in. But you know what? Have confidence. But I'm telling you right now, I changed I called an audible. It was going to serve no purpose to show those screen grabs. And one more time, because people will watch 10 minutes here, leave. We'll watch something in the middle, leave, and they'll watch the ending. Tommy and I never went to Chat GPT in order to get confirmation because we were a little unsure. We weren't on the fence about the existence of God. That was never the case, ever. We weren't, you have to understand, we were trying to ascertain the level of evil we were dealing with. And the biggest reason, because AI is literally everywhere. Everywhere. And that was the reason we were going. We were not treating it like a digital Ouija board. We were not treating it like a magic 8-ball. Like, what is it? Positive. That was not the case. And if you think that, check yourself. Stay in your own lane. We did that to find out how evil. You want to know your enemy? We know our enemy. So it's really important everybody knows that. And that's really the reason I'm not showing you these. It would be piling on unnecessary roughness. You get the point. But block out the noise, and you're going to hear the signal better. Of this, I assure you. Let me see here. And by the way, Cindy Tucker, if you're in this chat still, email me, please. I have some things I'd like to tell you. Look at this. Kristen says, social media and AI has shortened attention spans. That's why so many pop in and out of streams, miss important context. Let me share with you something. You guys know how accurate she is with that statement? Thank you, Cindy. Let me tell you something, and this is the truth. I have seen shorts that were 16 seconds long, and in the title it says, wait for the end. What? One of the reasons, it has absolutely shrunk down our attention span, and that is horrific. You know what? It's a real problem. And how do you reverse that? How do you reverse that? Can you fix the world? No, but can you fix you? You betcha. So you can't save the world. Can you save you? You betcha. Know what you're battling. Nelson Maxwell. I'm a big fan of Nelson Maxwell. I don't know if you guys know that. I'd rather have peace than to be in pieces. Boy, how about it, right? Absolutely. But stay strong and have faith. I'm just going to wrap up for just another couple of minutes, and then I've got to split because we're getting ready to head over to the Recovery Center. I'm so excited about that. It's interesting. Some of the people that attacked me for that video I did yesterday really did attack me, saying I shouldn't even be talking about it. I shouldn't. I don't see any difference. Should I not be going to the Recovery Center? Do you understand that some of the men that are in recovery were involved with the occult? Should I say, holy mackerel, they dabbled in the occult? I can't go over there. That doesn't even make sense to me. They need to hear the word. They need to hear about Jesus, and they need to get sober. And I can help them with all that. I'm not a pastor. I don't pretend to be. I'm just, you know what I did before I even have videos like this? Tom and I do this all the time. We pray. God gives us the right words, because I don't want to say the wrong thing and offend somebody. I want to say the right thing. Am I going to offend some people? You betcha. Am I going to offend some people today? I promise you. But I speak the truth, and it's as simple as that. Thank you, Cindy. I'm leaving in just a little bit. Okay. We have to be, we're going to be at the recovery center, but I'll be back probably by 1 or 2 o'clock. So I'll respond to that. And I'm going to have a lot of, yesterday I was talking to our pastor. He says, wait until you see the third living quarters. There were only 32 people living in essentially two rooms, 2 or 3 guys to a cot. I'll bet you my bed is 4 cots put together. So sad, but it's getting bigger. And the most astonishing thing is all the work is done by men who are just learning who God is, who Jesus is, and they're just getting sober. And I'm trying to get, I'm going to do what I can to get permission, because it's not intrusive. I don't think it's going to hurt anybody, but I'm doing what I can to get permission so I can share some videos about Mac, our friend that the first day we were at the recovery center was 4 days into his sobriety, kicking dope. It's a nightmare. And when we saw him the second time, it was 11 days in. And the difference, we didn't get a picture of the first day. I wasn't even thinking about my phone. You have to understand. But on day 11, I got a video because I could not believe how spectacular he looked. And I'm gonna try to get permission to upload that video because it is moving and incredible.
We don't do AI. We don't do heroin. We don't do crack.
Yeah, right. Well, we don't do AI anymore. At least not with our shorts. We try to limit. We don't do dope anymore. You know what I mean? Harm reduction. You can even apply harm reduction to AI. Limit how often. There's a thing on your phone. I don't know how to do it, but there's a thing on your phone where it can tell you how much screen time you have. You'd be uncomfortable if you knew. I was watching a silly thing, Family Guy, and they were looking at new cell phones. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, I'm just seeing which one I'm going to pull out of my pocket 38 times a day for the next 5 years. How many times do you look at your phone just to stick it back in your pocket? What? It's amazing. Thank you, AVAC4. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your heart and enthusiasm, Johnny. I support you and what you're doing and encourage others to listen and think. Much love to you, Tommy, and everyone here. Thank you, Jane. You're wonderful. I am a fan. Kristen, please let the men know we're all praying for them and sending good vibes and love. You want to hear something funny? And I know I've shared this before, but when we were out there, they were introducing Tommy and I to these 32 guys. And they said, these guys they're on YouTube. And they went, and that wasn't because it was a different language. It was translated. He was speaking their language. They had never heard of YouTube. Do you understand what it's like trying to describe YouTube to somebody that has never heard of YouTube? It was fascinating. However, when we said to them, there are thousands of people, just the views that I've done on the recovery center have thousands and thousands of views. Thank you, Lord, for that. But when we said to them, thousands of people that don't even know you all over the world are praying for you, you should have seen their reaction. Do you want to know why? Because that, even though it's something you can't put your finger on, to them, that was tangible. And they were shocked by that. That was a beautiful thing to see. It kind of reminds you of where we should be. Block out the noise, and you're going to hear the signal. I mean it. That's how I see it. The signal is God, Jesus, right? And the more noise, the more noise. When they first put TVs into homes of people, you know what they called it, right? Programs. That was an accident. They're programming this. Don't let them do it. Connor, really excited about all the work you and Tommy are doing at the center. You guys are a light, that's for sure. Thank you, Connor. But you know what? Tommy and I aren't doing any work. We're showing up. We're showing up and trying to be positive, showing up, telling them what we know. And it's being done through us, but it's not of us. That's a God thing. But we're we feel very fortunate and that it's happening. You know what I mean? Thank you for the prayers, Nelson. You are indeed a good person, man. Thank you, Barbara. I'm excited. It's going to be a great day. We're really looking forward to it. I think it should be your tube. Well, that's kind of why I think they named it YouTube, because it's whatever you want. I think think about TVs. It's like, wait a minute, you want me to watch this show and you're telling me what time I got to be here if I want to watch it? That's almost offensive. I want to watch what I want to watch, and I want to watch it whenever I feel like watching. And that's, I think, how they arrived at YouTube, because it's yours. But it's an evil thing. I would like to know. Here's the problem. Every time I would like to know, guess what I got to do to go find it? But I would like to know of all of the videos that are uploaded to YouTube every single day, what percentage of them have a positive message versus what percentage of them have a negative message. And then I would like to know what percentage of views across the board in a 24-hour period, how many of those views are from those negative videos that are putting out just negative content, and how many of those views are for positive. I think it would be discouraging. However, the battle's already over. We win. Stay true, pray a lot, get close to God. I'm shoving my chips in the middle. A lot of people are going to be very, very offended by this. Cindy says 90% are positive. I would have a hard time believing that. I just don't believe that. I've been a YouTube content creator for almost 10 years, and I can tell you that what is happening today is nothing like what was happening when I started. It has changed dramatically. Even if you know what the algorithm is, it's what you watch. So if you went to my Instagram, you'd see cats, peppers, and guitar, because that's all I watch. That's all they put in my feed. However, on YouTube, if all you watch are positive, I mean all you watch are positive, they're still going to slip in some really crappy negative videos, because they're going to try to find out in those moments when you do get away from that positive, which ones flip your switch, because we're going to give you more of that. I'm not wrong. I know how to extrapolate that stat without Google based on a sample size. It would be skewed by what shows up in my personal algorithm. You're right. Recovery is hard, but you can do it. Boy, it's the most important thing. It really is. All right, people, we're going to wrap this thing up now, because I have to prepare and get ready for this. It's going to be a spectacular day. Be kind to somebody. Tell somebody you love them, right? Thank you for this. Do me a favor. Remember, AI, this platform is not a fan of me or Tommy, and they're not a fan of a positive message. So please do me a favor. And I can tell you this from experience. I've watched the numbers do this on the positive videos. The engagement on those videos are going through the roof. The likes on those videos are way higher than on the previous content. Please do me a favor. I pray for, you know what, Cindy? We do. Tommy and I pray for, it's funny, the ones we remember by name, we pray for by name. We've prayed for you by name, Cindy. The ones we don't, I always just say, God, I can't remember all the names, but you know them all. You know how many hairs they have on their head. You know their needs. Meet them. Please do that. And we do that every single day. Stay focused. I'm not sure I was going for that. But I know that on those videos that we do, this kind of a video where we're not getting any views, after this video is done, they park it. However, the engagement on this video, the upvotes on this video are much higher than previous videos. The difference is those other videos, they keep throwing. They'll keep putting those videos out. The real positive messages. So what I'd ask you, I don't ask you for money. I won't, I don't do that. I ask you for prayer sometime. Every time you're willing to pray for me, I appreciate it. I ask you to like stream, I ask you to share. The only way anybody is going to see this video and hear this message is if you share it with other people, because like I said, when I get off the bus, they park it. They're putting it in drive and they're parking it. It's not going anywhere. So please help out and share this. I appreciate it. Cindy, I'm going to have to learn to lead us in prayer. And there are some things that you have to learn as well. You're right, and I'm right. So I'll be talking to you later. Guys, thank you so much. Be kind. Tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys tonight. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat South America.